The next part is a growth table, which I believe relates to mastery. Walk us through that.
Yeah, so if you think about the skills mapping relates to skills that I've mentioned across the Tina as a tester model. How that connects to the actual growth table. So most people are familiar with growth tables. It always tends to be tables. What I've tried to do here is remove that sort of task-based bullet point checklist structure within the tables and change it towards mastery levels. So the way that I'm looking at these mastery levels is taking two well-known subjects of the Dreyfus model of skill acquisition, which is essentially 1 to 5 novice to expert, but also combining that with Bloom's taxonomy levels of learning. So there's 6 different levels of learning. At the lower, it's like a triangle model. If you search for it, or you'll see it in the framework. At the lowest level of learning is remembering something. Then understanding is the next level, and applying what you've learned and understand is the third level. The fourth is analyzing. Fifth is evaluating, and then the sixth is actually evolving and creating that subject. So what I've done is I've kind of smashed these two structures together to create a slightly refactored mastery level that would fit with growth.
Do you know what I like about that the most? That a lot of companies, when they say they're going to have any kind of a career framework, whether it's good or bad, the most time-consuming part is wordsmithing and understanding how to describe where somebody should be at any given level. I really like that your framework just slots over that, and I'll instantly be able to understand, okay, I now know how I should describe what somebody should be doing at this level in this task. I think that's great.
The key is it's not what someone should be doing, it's the level in which someone should be operating.
Correct.
Right? So when we apply this into the actual growth table, the table, okay, so it's a standard table. Along the top, you've got your role levels from junior, senior, junior,
Pretty
mid-level,
standard
senior,
stuff. Yeah.
etc. Right? So you just build that to what you have existing. Down the left is where I've got the different competencies, and this is where I've tried to split it between craft competencies. So that one that's specific to the role and the team, maybe even the group context in there with the domain, product domain. But then there's also the sort of personal and leadership competencies as well, which carry on the rest of that sort of TINA model. But instead of what you're doing, instead of the traditional growth framework, is you would have a similar sort of table. These are the skills and competencies, and these are the roles and levels. Instead of putting the bullet points in around expectation around tasks, at this level, you should do A, B, and C. You're actually mapping the mastery level expectations, that level that we expect you to operate at for this role level, right? And that's actually an easier activity to go through when building your own table in your own specific context, right?
Yeah.
Because it's fairly similar that you would expect like a junior to be in that sort of remember, understand, grow because of that guided execution. Whereas someone that is more of an expert, you'd expect them to be practicing, organizing, and perhaps even evangelizing, right? Depending on the context of the business and what you need from the person in that role. Are you looking to push the boundaries with a particular business domain, you know?
And it becomes less subjective, doesn't it? Because again, one of the reasons it takes so long is you spend 2 or 3 months yourself having a first go, and then you put it out for feedback, and
Yep.
you spend the next 6 months collecting that feedback and twisting words and adjusting. Whereas if you keep it this simple, it's no longer very subjective. It's quite objective. Can we
Yeah.
just briefly describe this?